See. Good morning, folks. This is Corey Babka from the Marks Group, just providing our monthly What's New with GoldMine webinar that I've been doing a few months now, and I've actually probably got the same video up there on YouTube about 3 different times, but we'll do it again just for those that have decided to join in and attend. I go over a couple things differently every time here, but for the most part, what we're looking at today is, what is new with GoldMine, what new features have come out, and so on and so forth. Now, to be honest with you, this might be a little bit more premature, only because there is a new version of GoldMine coming out. Right now, if I open this up, I am on version, going to help and about, I'm on version 2015.2.0159, which technically is 2015.2 hotfix 3. There is a new hotfix 4 that is out there, but coming up soon, I believe in June, is what's expected, is we have, just to ignore this while I close all these things out, what we've got in here is 2016.1 is coming soon, is what it is, right? So we've got some changes coming up. I will tell you that from what I've seen in the partner conversations and what is coming, not a whole lot going to change inside of GoldMine itself, like GoldMine proper, the GoldMine on-premise version. Everything's still the same. We've got all our menus the same, the buttons, our forms all look the same. Not a whole lot going on here. The major things that have changed over the recent months, I would say, is things like this, where it's configure GoldMine Connect. And we're going to go into that a little bit because that's the GoldMine mobile piece. Okay, so we've got GoldMine Connect is a new one. The other one that's out there is actually, I believe it's Go To Campaigns. This is something that's been there for a while, but I like to bring it up here and there just to make sure that people are aware that it is out there. And it's actually a constant contact campaign connection. So if you're doing constant contact and you want to see that history items and those emails come into the history based on email addresses, how they sync down, it doesn't sync up. It does not go from GoldMine up to constant contact. It's more of a down from constant contact to GoldMine itself. Okay, so this is what we're looking at, and we do this a lot. I do like the constant contact integration. The activity list, of course, and everything's the same. This one I rely on daily, and then our contact records. But other than that, there's not a whole lot going on inside of this section. So what I usually do is I just start right here. Okay, so GoldMine Web, or as we like to call it, GoldMine Connect, that's what they call it. GoldMine Connect is actually a new suite of product that gets installed alongside on the GoldMine server for GoldMine access via the web. Okay, and that's what it is there. What that means is that you have to turn your GoldMine server into an app server. Now, a couple prerequisites there. They only support an app server to have GoldMine Connect running on it if it is not a domain controller and unless it's running small business server. So that's kind of the hard part that we've run into a couple times. We go to install GoldMine Connect. It turns out your GoldMine server does everything. It's a file server, it's the Exchange server, it's the domain controller, it's the GoldMine server. If it's got domain controller in that list, they're not going to support it. And I think we've actually had problems installing it before where it will not install at all. So you can virtualize a new server for it. They won't support a workstation, although between you, me, and the lamppost, I have done it before that we've set it up on a workstation. It's just not supported. It's just the domain controller thing is more of a security, because what we're doing is we're opening up your firewall to point at the GoldMine server through a specific port, either 443 or port 80. Usually we go down to port 443. For the tech guys on the call, that is the SSL port for web interaction, and away we go. What we're looking at here is this is actually my website running on my local workstation. I don't have it set up as a server per se for testing. I only have it as a local host, but this is what we set up, and then after that it's just a matter of opening up firewall ports and going from there. Okay, so the firewall itself, once it's open, what it does provide is a live real-time interface from here to here. Same thing, right? So I can go to like my record here and I can see this and go, there's my history and all these types of things, right? And there's this and this and this and this, right? It's just a test record I have, right? I can even do this. Here's Joe Jones, Chuck E. Cheese. I guess I don't really remember this one, but that's a service ticket, so on and so forth, and we could just do Chuck E. Cheese, right? So that's fine. We'll do that. So if I go here and I log in, I'm going to log in as someone other than myself because it doesn't like to be logged in by the same user as 2 different times. This right here is my list of contacts. Okay, so and we always see there's 3 up there, but I can search and say Chuck. I'm going to get a bunch of Chucks, right? I'm going to get my Chuck E. Cheese 356. I'm going to get Chuck McLean, Chuck Marionic, Chuck Hawley. Now, these guys are duplicated not because of GoldMine. They're duplicated, well, Chuck, that's 2 different records. But these are duplicated here because of a synchronization issue that I had with another add-on product a couple years back, and I just unfortunately haven't merged them back together. Usually I do as I see them and I clean them up. This is just a new one for me to search by Chuck today, okay? So here's Chuck. I'm going to look at it this way. Now, a couple caveats here. It only searched by contact and company. Supposedly version 2016.1, I have not seen it yet, but the one that's coming out this summer, early summer, does allow for a more advanced searching on the GoldMine web interface. Okay, I'm hoping for it to be able to search by multiple fields. It's not to the level of filters and groups, I don't think, but it's an advanced searching that allows you to search by multiple fields, okay, or different fields, I believe, okay? So from here, what do we got? Well, I can just click on this record, and now we're in the contact record. We've got phone number, email address, no title, no website, right? Last contact, what's their contact type? I scroll down a little bit, there's more information down here. I can even go to client field data. These are my custom fields that are right there, right? If I go there, that's the fields tab right here where I can do my client field versus customer information. There's monthly sales, makes, inventory, email, right? Go back to this, same thing. Makes, master pass, merge codes, what do they do? Scroll down, show more, right? There's more stuff down there, okay? And I can close that up. Now, I also have down below pending, what pending items are out there, and then what history is out there. Okay, and I can open this up and see the history. There it is, reboot, service ticket. That's how we solved it, okay? So there's some information in here that's very, very useful, and it is the pending, it's the history. We also have detail records, right? We have opportunities. I can add new opportunities. I have links. Now the links I can't see yet. That's what I'm trying to work through that to see what the actual objective is there. But I think they're still difficult to work with, just to be frank with you. Notes, these are more notes. If I want to do this and say, this is just a note that I added from the GM web. Okay, and I say okay. I saved it. There's even additional contacts. I'm going to add a new one here. It's going to be, I'm going to use the primary address, which there wasn't one. But I'm going to say name is Josie Smith, VP, right? And I do her email here, and I'm going to say josie@cc.com, right? And I say okay. Now what you end up with down there is now there's my additional contacts. But what's important is this. Let's go down here. Additional contacts. There's Josie. Here's my note. So it's real time is what it's doing. It's not a synchronization. It's not a separate standalone. It is a just real-time layer on top of the database. Okay, I've got that. Now, one of the things that I do thoroughly enjoy with this product, and I think it's great, is that you can easily add history. I can schedule something from here, or I can edit the record. If I click edit, if you have edit rights, you can edit anything in here. You can update. That's all. But what I look at here is I say activities. I can do this, schedule a call or an action or an event. Okay. I can also do my opportunities, which would be, or I'm sorry, I could also complete my activity. So I can do this and I can create history. This is complete a call. And I'm going to say testing only. If I do this right here, what did I do? Well, let's go back. Now I've got 2. One last year, one this year. And that right here, to me, whenever I'm doing CRM training, I'm always telling people that the the crux of any CRM system, I don't care if you're using Salesforce, GoldMine, Dynamics, Zoho, those are the 4 we work with here at the Marks Group. Whatever it is, I think it's a Rolodex of information, contacts, contacts, accounts, people, the companies they work for, and it's activities, it's data, it's things that you've done with the system, with the account, with the contact. It's calls that you've made, it's appointments you've made. It is, if you're able to log or complete those activities and put it in history, you're 80% of the way there. You're much further than you were yesterday if you were just using a strict contact set like Outlook, and that's it. So in here, if I'm able to log a call, boom, I'm done, right? That's what we want to be doing. And this is why for the road warriors, this product is fantastic. Because the biggest hindrance that we have for people that are in the field is we need their history, we need their call history, we need their appointments. What did they do? But they don't have the access to do it. If you're doing a remote desktop, they have to sometimes go to a VPN, then they have to open up remote desktop, then they have to double-click open GoldMine, find the record, and then log the history. Okay, it's a lot of clicks to do if you're sitting in your car at the parking lot at lunch doing these things. So what they're forced to do instead is they go home at night. They go home at 4 or 5 o'clock after a long day of being on the road, and then they log everything they did that day. Much of it is forgotten, as we know, right? It's not real time. It's not in their head. Unless they're taking very good notes, it's just not tracked. So therefore, if I'm able to give a tool to the people outside to actually log that information and log those calls, log those appointments, like I said, for the people inside the office, we're much better off. Now, that all being said, keep in mind that GoldMine keeps touting this as their new interface. And this is what, frankly, I don't know if I call it a new interface. I think it's more of a supplement to GoldMine. You can't do everything in this product just yet. You can't do emails. There's no email center. You can see emails in the activity list, but it's a little bit different. I'll get to that there. Now, I know I went on my soapbox a little bit about what we're using this for in the field. Most of you already know that, and you understand what this is for. But I wanted to focus again one more time. If I do this and say Chuck, okay, what I really like, and this is where I find the most value in the system, is I can complete activities or schedule activities. This is a forecast button if you're using forecasting, but this is schedule and complete right from the search results, right? So I could do a search for Chuck. I could find Joe Jones at Chuck E. Cheese, and I'm going to do this right now, and I'm going to complete a call and say, just another call on site work. Okay. Went over this and that. There's an opportunity attached with it. You could choose it. There's the same results code that you have inside your system now if you're using those. And there's the result and the activity codes, right? And I say, okay. Now, if I go back again, what I've got here, refresh my notes, now there's 3. My history, there's 3. And that's what I find valuable. So if I'm on the road and I can do this, just right here without having to go to a record and all that, it's one click. Okay. A couple other tabs. We've got activities. This is the true activity list. It actually shows your calendar. Okay, I'm actually going to show me, so it makes a little bit more sense. So here's a calendar items, right? These are my taxes. Those are the ones I saw that you saw earlier where taxes were due. If I go back a couple weeks, they actually have some more information in here, right? A couple webinars, things like that. I can actually even go to today and I can schedule something from here, which is actually pretty valuable. If I go here and I say, all right, I'm going to do this right here, I highlight those 2 and I let go, it's automatically doing 12 to 1. Very similar to what we've got inside the system. I add in here, and I'm going to search for Chuck, since he's my guy today, right? When I say Chuck, Joe Jones, I select him, I say, okay. It's 12 to 1. So my reference is just we're going to do an appointment, sorry. I'm going to do on-site work and say okay. Now I've got this in my calendar. If I go back over here to my calendar, you're going to see that right there. And if I go to Joe Jones, you're going to see in my pending, there's the appointment. Okay. And if I go to my calendar here, I'm looking at today, I can actually even complete it from right here, or I can click on this and I can complete it or edit it, or I can even click here and it goes to the record. Boom, now I'm in Joe Jones's record. So it's very similar. If you're using calendar, activities, and records, maybe even opportunities lately, you could use this to replace your GoldMine. What you can't replace it for is there are certain things here like emails that come into your activity list. And that's okay, but I'm not loving it, right? I'm going to go back a couple weeks here and see if I can find an email just so you can see what it does. Because there is a restriction. There is a way that you can view these things. Oh, see, I'm just looking for emails. There's one. So here's an email right here. And if I open this up, I can see there's that's not what I want to do. I can't see all users. I can only see one at a time. But if I click on this email, now I've got it there. So this is what the email looks like, and this is what it is. Now from here, I could actually reply, but the challenge is what it does is it actually replies through my Outlook. Why? Because the device I'm using uses Outlook as its default. Okay, so what would that mean? If you're using this on an iPad or a laptop or a tablet or a phone, it's going to reply to your email on your phone or your iPad. It's going to use your Mac Mail or whatever it is. There is an IMAP setting that allows you to link some messages. I've seen it work a couple times. It's a little bit cumbersome to set up. So again, this is where I'm always kind of being honest with folks, letting them know that if you're using GoldMine email religiously, it's a little difficult to get through this part. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We do have another product, an add-on that actually can help us out with that, but especially if you're in an Exchange server, but you know, we can discuss that offline. So we've also got our opportunities. I can manage my pipeline from here. I can edit these things, right? There's even pending in history for these down here, some other tasks. So not all the tabs on the opportunity are there, but the pending, the history, the tasks are there, and then your major information for your opportunity. Okay. Now, the big question is, what does this look like on my phone? Well, this is what we do. If I do this here, essentially, this is what it looks like. It's just this screen smaller. Okay. So your magnifier is not a box. What I do is I click there, and I can do Chuck. Get these things there. There's my results. I can scroll left and right. I can dial this, which actually dials the phone number on my phone. I can even do this, which will tap it and it'll do an email on my phone. Okay. If I scroll right, I can still log information. I believe if I turn my phone sideways, I've never done this before, but I believe if I turn my phone sideways, I will see more. And that might be what you might be looking at doing. But if I was to go and complete an item here for Chuck, now I've got this complete a call. I go down here, type in my notes. This pops open your keyboard because you're typing on your phone. And as I prefer to use when I'm using my keyboard, is I prefer to use the microphone. So I could conceivably just type in or talk to my phone and type in the notes, hit OK. Again, it's my goal is to grab as much history as possible, as much activities being closed out as I can when I'm going through and when I'm training people on how to use GoldMine or any CRM system. So the ability to run this on a phone, to sit there, look up someone, dial them, then log a call, it just makes your activity tracking that much better company-wide. Okay, so again, that kind of wraps up the you know, what's new with, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of other features going on with this guy here that allows me to say, yeah, this is what's going on new with GoldMine. It's more of this. It's the focus has been for the last year or so on this mobile device, on the mobile, the GoldMine Connect, which is your mobile interface. Right, phones, laptops, it's the same thing. Training's easy because the phone and the tablet and the laptop, it's all the same, right? It's just a different sizing. It is responsive. You don't have two different products anymore. It's just one install. It's an easy install. It takes us probably about an hour, hour and a half, including IIS installation. Caveats, like I said, domain controllers are kind of frowned upon. They don't support it. We also will run into some issues that we might run into with if you have Exchange on that server and we have to set up certain things and using Exchange on the web. But we've gotten really good support from the GoldMine team on this if they've improved their own support exponentially as this product's really taken effect. But it's good. We're doing well. All right, any other questions, by all means, reach out to me directly. This is Corey at the Marks Group. My email address is Corey, Corey, at marksgroup.net, Corey@marksgroup.net. Okay, you can reach out to me if you have any questions. Otherwise, we do these events monthly. I actually tell you to log in right now if you want to see more. We've changed our webpage around a little bit, shows a little bit more about what we do. Also talks about our upcoming events, what's going on, as well as our review all our events. We do tips and tricks for GoldMine specifically. We have what's new with GoldMine. We have our blog. These are events. Okay, we have GoldMine tips and tricks. We also have our blog that's out here that I recommend. We go to our homepage. Let's see, resources. There's our CRM blog that has all the different blog pages that we've been using. We do Salesforce, we do Dynamics, but GoldMine is also in here, as well as Crystal Reports, if you're looking to do some of that stuff with your GoldMine. All right, thanks for joining today. Hope you all have enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be in touch soon. Thank you. Bye-bye now.